Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. How is everyone doing with the climb using Mr. Fluffy Bear? I am not going to lie. These are hard times in the jungle. Some of you have gave me some great ideas on what to build in the previous video, but man, they are hard to implement in the real life. When shit hits the fan, it's either do or die, and we mostly die against all those broken champions. But we are not here to cry about the sad encounters, rather come up with manly solutions. And I think I finally found the secret formula for carrying with Volibear in patch 14. So what is the secret formula? After thinking a lot about Volibear, based on its design, this champion is an early game character, believe it or not. Riot made the bear for the early game fights in a manner that its kit is like a basic template for champions in any MOBA. Your stun is point and click, and if you bite someone, the more you keep biting, the more benefits you will acquire as the fight progresses. On top of that, your passive gets stronger as you stay alive, and your E spell contributes to the aspect of the non-stop brawler that will beat the living shit out of anyone that looks in his general direction. Hence, our build will be around creating our own domain where we live longer, and as long we are alive we gain bonus stats and everyone around us loses something just from our existence. And the important part, we need to get stronger if we keep the fight going on. Well, if you get my point, I guess the build would come up to your mind naturally. It will be these three core items for now: Frozen Heart, Tooth Najor, and Abyssal Mask. What we will change based on each game is the order of buying these items. And we might throw a different situational item if we are in a pickla. In this game, you guys will experience a different type of power. I call it, I don't care who you are, kind of strength. Now back to our game. This idiot ruined my early start. Now I have to go with the regular pathing. Fear not, Yorick against Teemo is totally in favor of the dead bodybuilder, and our rat will keep feeding. Hence, I need to be there to collect the bounty or get some kills and start building up our own lead to carry this game. If I recall correctly, this imbecile used his ward to either cover the enemy blue or my red side of the jungle. In other words, he can't see me coming until it is too late. The sad part about this is Teemo can't help you, so let's go for it and hope the damage is enough. Shit, my top laner is more blind than Stevie Wonder, but at least we got the flash. Let's move on. Just another day in the daily life of an plat jungler. Now, one thing we need to be careful about. We are in a vulnerable situation, because everyone knows our location. Hence, we need to either pressure for another play, or simply cover our own tracks. Since the enemy jungler is doing his blue, we get enough time to scout around the area for another gank and go farm a bit to recover from these average early game results. Would you look at that? If it isn't Bard and Ashe, would you mind help my T1 to get some extra gold, please? Much appreciated. Now I can be happy and go full clear my jungle, because my dear friends, among the top Gs of this game we have Draven, and especially those guys that would tell their support, I got my big freaking sword, now get your shit out of this house and go find you a beta to follow. That type of carries is the Bitcoin of every jungler, and you should always invest in them. Alright. We are in a very good mood. The game is even so far, and what was my fear didn't happen. Yorick is simply farming, and I think taking his flash was actually a good idea. He can't reach this shitty rat, and that is great for us since we can now do whatever we want. I consider Teemos as an upgraded version of jungle companions. They can be a ward or put shrooms and blind the enemy carry for a few seconds. If our top laner can stay alive and keep pumping those shrooms, I'll be eternally grateful. I thought at first only the one hitting the small voidlings would be getting the buff, but it turns out all your team will get the extra damage to structures, and if you get at least 5 of those beautiful creatures, you will start spawning tiny void spawns that will push with you periodically from your location. That is very nice, and I would die for it if and only if my team do pressure for plates. I think the idiot saw me kill the scuttle crab, and yet here he is playing very aggressive, and you can see in the minimap the enemy red buff will spawn. You should die permanently in this game. I would be so tilted if this guy was my top laner. I think I just wasted my ghost. But you can never be too careful against Yorick, and the ghouls there is always the outplay potential. Also, I won't be pushing this wave so that I won't mess up my Teemo and help him stay viable in this game. Now, you would say it is time to back? Actually, we just need a tiny bit of gold, and we can buy a complete item and come back to ruin someone's day in no time. After pondering a lot about this item, I think you can never go wrong rushing this against heavy attack damage composition. You might regret it against execution and true damage dealer, but usually if the enemy have 2 or more add carries, This is the best possible buy you can have with just 2,300 gold. I remember back when Rush was streaming, he said something pretty funny about Frozen Heart, if I remember correctly. He said, imagine yourself a high ELO player that is mechanically gifted, timing perfectly, and kiting suddenly. Your rhythm is messed up and you find yourself missing auto attacks. Well, that's what reducing someone's attack speed will do, and we simply call that fear. Our presence will induce fear now in our enemies. Pretty giga chat, I would say. You guessed it right. My team are trying to give me a challenge. Let's meet them with an appropriate response. First, we start with this Yorick that is bullying our useless top laner. There is no shame in camping someone. The only shame a jungler would feel is not taking advantage of it. You should always remember that. These words of encouragement should always inspire to display a camp fitting for those messages. I would say we are not hard camping, just a light type of camp. I guess the appropriate word is we are hovering over his lane. Now we are strong, and we should put everyone in their fitting place. And we will go and pay bot side a visit. I feel that Draven is a bit hungry. No, your eyes are not fooling you. In the span of 10 seconds, both Teemo and Draven died, of course not out of the same causes. One was chased like a dog, while the other was greeting for getting his stacks. But nevertheless, these times are calling for us to impose a type of order in this game. We need to establish a gameplay. And my gameplay now is we forsake completely topside and create a monster by transferring some of our lead to our AD carry and mid lane. I know the true terror of level 16 Kassadin. It might be a meme, but there is no fire without some smoke. Now, since our mid laner did a great job trading a kill for another, this fact will enforce our plan into helping him. Unlike Teemo, that player is having many problems, and giving him a lead will only feed his delusion that he can carry. The only help we can give our top side is positive vibes and good results with our actions. In the odd chances that all your lanes are feeding, there is hope. Maybe a meteor will hit the enemy power station, and some of them will disconnect. There is always hope. Not the type of hope you can expect, but still it is hope that you can win all your games. This is the unflinching mindset of the jungler we are striving to be in this game. I don't know what is this, but I know a mistake when I see one. Earlier when I said Volibear is a straightforward champion, and you should think of it as a strength, not a weakness. They both know what I can do, they simply can't stop it. Even my mid laner is doubting me. Well buddy, this is a bear unlike others, and you should let loose while I am around. Damn, that E was perfectly placed sometimes. Luck is on my side. Let's risk it then for the biscuit and get our first tower. We definitely deserve this small win since we did keep our composure and worked hard for it. Now let's talk about our second item, the Nashor Tooth. I think this is the most expensive buy in this build, and getting first can only be done when are you really ahead, and the enemy don't have nuke damage dealer. I would go with this build with magic resist or Tabus to get more defensive stats to help me reach both full stacks on my passive and my lethal tempo. Remember, the longer we stay alive, the more damage we output. Look at this beautiful sight. We have two mainly attack damage dealer that plan on chasing a Volibear with Frozen Heart. I'll tell you a joke about this situation while we are baiting them. There was once a lion that met suddenly a zebra. On the moment, both their eyes met. The lion took a step backward, and the zebra didn't believe his eyes. For every step the zebra takes forward, the lion take ones backward. Then our dear zebra decided to chase the lion, and he started his chase so happy like never before. Suddenly the lion jumped into a cave, and the zebra decided to chase this wuss lion. And look, and behold, the zebra finds himself facing a group of lions awaiting him, and in the middle of them, our scared lion saying, well, here's the bet guys. I brought to you a live zebra with no bites or scares on his body, and this is what happened to these two imbeciles. The morale of the story, guys, never chase someone that you know he can turn around and beat you senselessly. Now, our mid laner got himself a good share of gold, and that is not a good thing to do against hypercarries. You tend quickly to regret one or two mistakes of that kind. The only issue with outbuild in this game is no magic resistance so far. Well, simply we have a mage assassin, and they tend to go for carries, not junglers, and that is my gamble for now. On the other hand, it is time to teach the Yorick that it wasn't a camp that lost him the lane. Simply a player diff. Our message of plain and simple. Players like you don't win against players like me in a duel. These pills are hard to swallow, but the truth is the bear is very strong if properly used, and the level difference won't make look weaker. On the contrary, we are huge as a Siberian bear. You see us, you play dead. By the way, this game is the first one where I started with the tank item first. The 2 previous games I went with Nashor Tooth Start, and it was average performance at best. Now the best evidence of how effective it is when you stay longer alive is that this Yorick is still baffled on why this dude pushed my face in with just 1 item rush and 3 levels behind. If you watch the video, you would assume that I knew this would happen. Well, I am adopting a new mentality, and that is we run people down. If you want to be a champion, you should act like one. And another well-placed E-spell. Sometimes luck can take your side, and in situations like these that you should flex on the enemy, because you are truly the honored one in that moment. Nothing can stop. Well, nothing except high ping, but I can feel the carry moments when things go your way too smoothly than usual. Well shit, Mr. Uselessness and Darth Vader both are dead. I would say this is a risky play and it would be better to let it go and just set up a better play, but that is weakling talking. It is time to demoralize the enemy. To be honest, I don't have any magic resistances at all. Let's hope we don't regret it all this big talk. See you later, guys. Having Big Brother T1 around was the best possible outcome. They were so scared to commit to any hard engage. Thankfully, I didn't fat finger the smite against them with Graves dead. Now the enemy team will start the extreme flame session after losing the 4v3 and not getting any kills. Here's the funny part. We did all that without having our main damage item. Now we are totally a different champion. We should think of Volibear now as a mini boss level in Dark Souls. This feels good, guys. We just need to be consistent with our game mindset and decision making. This looks like a perfect angle for 2-man Baron. Darth Vader is pushing bot and Teemo is doing the usual and dying for no reason. What I foresee in the next few seconds is T1 to push mid and Zyra to come and help with the Baron. But remember, your teammates are not your friends. Sometimes they are your worst enemy, and good investments only come handy in times like these. Right now, the only person that I need is that female plant with her 2 neurons, and she is sticking her butt with Darth Vader. That champion have a built-in flash. What can you possibly do to help him? Bring your ass over here. In moments like these, where you should hear that inner voice, I am unkillable, unstoppable, and nothing can stop me. And if you wonder why, well, every encounter in this game led to this exact moment, the last man standing moment. Who is the one staying alive? It is the fluffy bear. I like the fact that my team are running around like idiots while no one is hitting the fucking Baron. What is this joke? I almost rode on the Baron buff and left this wretched pit. Yeah, you guessed it right, Yorick. I have a big dazzling personality. That was a fine Geiga carry moment. I said earlier we would buy Abyssal Mask, but after that play I'll go for a greedy tank item since I didn't feel any threat from their magic damage dealer. The Jack Shoe feels like a decent buy to close this game. Yeah, the Jack Shoe was definitely a good buy. I once said hi, even took a walk and came back with virtually no lethal damage. And that was against 2 of their main carries. Feels good when every call you make are right on point. That looked like it hurt spiritually. That fizz instantly turned into a sashimi. Poor guy. Well, as all of you know, my original plan with Volibear was to play a hybrid jungle split push type of style. But with Season 14 changes, the game is back to a better stage, and I will opt for that technique when it is a desperate game. Meanwhile, let's enjoy ourselves with these fine changes. I might buy Hullbreaker as my 4th item or 5th one since after the 25 minutes mark. Every wave have a caddy in it. Let's see how that will play out. But look at this bard. The amount of audacity. There is a saying that a fly landed on a tree and the fly told the tree, "Apologies, maybe when I landed I disturbed your peace." And the tree replied, "I didn't even realize that you were there in the first place." This is the summary of this bard story in this game. Regarding our plan to close the game, we can simply in this stage play it safe since everything is going smoothly in our favor. The important thing is that we don't die a pointless death like this Teemo, for example. God damn it, it is sad to be you. I think landing that blind spell meant a lot to him. If I was in his place instead, they wouldn't even see my ugly face. I'll simply shroom the shit out of this lane and that is it. That is my raison d'etre as a rat. As they say, once a split pusher, always a split pusher. I can't believe they let me by myself in a solo lane. I guess this is acceptable under unreasonable amount of flame. You tend to do stupid things either to help end the game, or simply you lost your sense of reasoning. My dear friends, this is the last play of this game. I really hope you have enjoyed yourself. And your question why I'm not posting as I used to be, well, it is simple. If you remember my coughing sickness, now everyone in the house has it. That is why the Bear family is feeling low and taking care of everyone is time-consuming. But rest assured, I'll be back in no time. Meanwhile, make sure you subscribe, like, and leave me a comment about how is your Bear experience is going on. Thank you everyone for watching and peace.